Hey everybody, back again with Jeremy. So today, I wanted to talk about something that wasn't even on my list. It just kind of occurred to me today. So I personally drive a lot. And in my life, I have driven a lot. I've driven tons of different types of vehicles. I've driven vehicles that probably should not have been driven. I've driven super nice vehicles. I've driven in every type of weather that you could imagine, from whiteout snowstorms to extremely dry, well over 100-degree temperatures, and everywhere in between. Well, this morning, I was driving to work, and it was raining extremely hard, which is not abnormal for Indiana, at least this time of year. Well, I'm driving to work, and I find myself being not cautious, but extremely cautious. And I started to think to myself, I trust my abilities, I trust my car's abilities, and at the time in the morning that I go to work, there is not many people on the road, so worrying about other drivers is not really a concern. So why was I being so cautious? Well, I started thinking about this, and I've been wondering about it, and I began to think, maybe there are situations in your life that you experience in one way or another. Mine was more indirectly, but maybe those affect you. And so, story time for you. A number of years ago, I can't remember what the year was or how long ago it was, but it was a significant amount of time, more than 10 years, that I was driving home from work, and this was not in Indiana, but it was raining pretty hard, and I was following behind somebody in a truck, and I find myself generally, when there's traffic, as a cautious driver. I'm not one to swerve in and out of traffic and try to, blow by people, especially when there's weather. Well, I'm following this truck, and I remember this truck like it just happened 10 minutes ago. It was a red Dodge Ram, half-ton crew cab, black wheels, and it's all stuff that over this amount of time I should have forgotten. But this day and this incident is forever, I would imagine, ingrained in my mind. And what had happened was, I was following behind the gentleman. I'd say it was probably, I was probably 10 car lengths behind him, maybe a little less, maybe a little more. And we're cruising along. We were doing under the speed limit. I think the speed limit was about 60. And I think we were doing between 50 and 60, somewhere in there. I know for sure we weren't going over 60. And then all of a sudden, the truck in front of me is going straight, and all of a sudden he turns like this, goes over the median, and slams into the side of a car. My mind was just, I didn't even know what to think. Well, I got out to see what I could do. Anyways, the situation turned out okay. Nobody was seriously injured. But now, 10, 11, 12 years later, I find myself changing the way I drive on a road that I know very well, in a vehicle I know very well, and with very confident in my abilities as a driver and to handle situations. And I find it affecting me. And I'm sure a lot of you are this way, but when I was younger, I used to drive with no regard. And don't get me wrong, this is not the right way to be, but I would pass people on the shoulder. I would speed extremely fast, and it wouldn't matter. I found myself driving erratically a lot, and I'm extremely lucky that the little to no incidences that I had driving like this that were that way, because looking back, I could have died in a lot of the situations I was in, but none of those have imprinted themselves in my mind like that day with that truck. So it's interesting to think about. And I'm sure, 100% sure, I'm not the first person to think about this, but it's crazy how a situation that doesn't even, it's just you're kind of a bystander in it, can have so much effect in the way that you treat certain situations. And it's just, I don't know, it's cool to me to think about. I don't always have a lesson for you. It's kind of cool for me to think about in this journey of life, how little tiny itty bitty situations, and that wasn't an itty bitty situation by any means, but all of the situations in your life, they have a tendency to tweak your mind just a little bit one way or the other. And you know what? There is kind of a thing to think about with this. So when you see somebody take a situation a certain way, you need to be careful of the snap judgments in it. Because what if that guy, you could consider him reckless. I don't really consider him reckless. I consider it a bad situation. It was a bad situation for the lady in the car. It was a bad situation for him. But let's say he was being a little bit reckless. You don't know. Maybe his wife is being rushed to the hospital. You know? You don't know. So instead of making snap judgments, maybe a person's situation and situations that have happened in their life have caused them to think about things in a different way than you do. So that's what we're going with today. I didn't really think this had a meaning. I just was going off it's amazing how situations can change your point of view. But that's what we're going with, is make sure that you shouldn't never judge anybody. I do it. You're human. You do it. Everybody judges. It's the way it works. But you need to try to pull back from the judgment and realize that not everybody's in the same situation as you. Everybody's had different things happen, and for the good or bad, it might have changed the way they look at a situation. So once again, always, I love you guys. If I can do anything to help you, please let me know. I'm here for you guys. I love you guys. You guys are worth absolutely everything that you're willing to work for, and I'm here to help you guys. And if you got ideas to help me grow this, if you're watching this as soon as I put it up, you'll notice there's not a whole lot of views, there's not a whole lot of subscriptions. Don't get me wrong, I love the people who view it. I love the subscribers. You guys rock. I would like to grow this, though. I've told you many times in the past, I want to make this a big thing. I want to make, I want to help people. I want people to help me. I want to grow this together. I want to do this together. So if you have ideas, let me know. I'm here for you guys, and we'll talk to you guys tomorrow.